Hello everyone, welcome to Bella's Crochet Gifts. I'm Bella. All right, so today I have the actual sixth episode of my dyeing adventure, and I did some more speckle yarns and I can't wait to show them to you. All right, so I did 3 sets and all of them had the base dye pot was, is it Hyacinth? Yeah, it was Hyacinth. And it is a purple color. It's supposed to be a lighter purple color. And I started out, I believe, with 2 tablespoons in the dye bath, 2 or 3. And I started with what turned out to be the equivalent of the one I'm keeping. So mine, because it became a little too dark. So I did the purple, and then I did sprinklings of the purple Rit Dye and the navy blue Rit Dye. So these are how they turned out. My camera might be showing it a little brighter. If it's as bright, like, I'll let you know if it's true to color, but it is a more subtle purple, like the light is reflecting more blue. But this is a very nice purple color, and I did the same technique that I did last time where excuse me, whew, I think I have fiber, where I laid it out and sprinkled some and then flipped it over and did the other side. And then I did the steam set in the big kettle. So this is the first one. All right. So it looked much darker when I had pulled it from the dye bath, which is why I was a little worried about how the speckles will show up. And I think, like, they're not as pronounced as they were on the light blue, but they do show up. And like some in there. So you can kind of see some. There we go. And they're very subtle, but like it's not like, there's some good speckling. I definitely was expecting it to be a lighter color for the look of the dye itself, from like the picture on the outside. So I thought it was going to be lighter. And when this ended up being darker, I went ahead and was like, okay, I guess that one's mine, because it wasn't exactly what I was planning. So there was this one. And then this one had, oh, why do I have so much fiber on me? Oh, this one had a little bit more concentrated speckles. Like right in there. You can see them really well. There we go. Oh. I had Sabrina in here just a minute ago. Maybe she left me some fur or something. I don't know. All right. So we've got some darker splotches and some good point speckling right in there. Some good colors. And then some of the purple. I hope that's showing up okay. And then it got really dark right in there. Okay. So this was like my second attempt. So, I mean, I'm happy with how it looks. It'll still look very nice together. So I think it'll just not be as noticeable. Maybe it'll make it a little bit more interesting in the pattern. So here's the next one. And I think I was starting to lose some of my dye because this looks very, very much lighter than, like, and light in here than the other colored ones. All right. There we go. Got a really big splotch of the blue. And there's some more of the speckles of the purple. And then another big spot. I think this one was primarily on, or like this one and the other one with the bigger spots was primarily in front. And the other one was covered a little bit more. But I like how it turned out. So this was my first one. And my second one is going to my good friend Ray at Ray's Yarn Addiction. You should totally go check her out. She is super fun to watch. And so I asked her if it was a purple yarn, what colors would you want? And she says purple and green. So that is what I did. And this one and the one for my friend Heather the Crochet Witch got a little heavy-handed. We'll just put it that way. You're gonna see speckles. A lot of speckles. Whoops. A lot of speckles. We'll start with this one because it is something else. So I dipped this straight into the same dye bath that had already absorbed all of this purple, and it gave me this very, very light purple. Here we go. So there's definitely green in here. So, and like, it's really neat because the green broke a little bit and you get little shots of like this apple colored green, because this was meant to be dark green, I believe, and it came out more of like a kind of a, not even forest green, it's more like a emerald green. It's a bright green. It's not Kelly green, but so occasionally you'll see like that bright apple green in there. And that got a little silly. And so we do have this shot of purple. So when I realized that the dye bath was so very light, I added in another tablespoon of Hyacinth and I mixed it around. Well, it pooled a little bit and gave this like shot of purple. And I was like, that's kind of cool. So maybe I'll try a little bit more of that. So that was the first foray. And then we have this one. The speckles are more spread out a bit. It's not as concentrated all in one spot. Oops. All right, what are you doing? Here we go. So it's definitely, it's still heavily speckled, but it's a little more spread. It's a lot less solid in some places. And there's that shot of purple. we go. So that I'm really, really happy with how Ray's yarn turned out. Okay. And you can really tell that it was running out of dye because this one end is extremely light. Like right there. It is very, very light. And there's the patch of dark purple, which apparently I speckled. So it turned out pretty neat, if I do say so myself. So there we go. Those are Ray's yarn, and I will be getting them in the mail probably after my trip. In fact, this is going up during my trip, and so I will be back on, let's see, July 1st, but we're driving that whole day, so I'm going to be like dead tired. So I'll probably take Sunday off and come back and maybe tell you what I got, because I am going yarn shopping while I'm down there. And this, Heather, if you don't want to be surprised, or if you don't want to see your surprise, look away, Heather the Crochet Witch. But if you do want to see it, here we go. Woo! There we go. Oh dear. 1 second. Okay. Oh, I am dropping stuff everywhere. My goodness. So, oh, 1 second. I'll just put you there. Okay. Excuse me. All right. So I sent her a text. I'm like, if there happens to be a purple yarn, what would you like mixed in with it? And she said green and orange or black. And as of the dyeing of this yarn, I did not have orange on hand, so I could not do that. So I did purple, I did green, and I did black. And it's really interesting because the black had a large brown undertone. So when I was washing it in the waters, it turned the water extremely dark brown. So I was like, I hope it looks more black than like brown. But she does like brown, so it probably would have been a win-win anyway. But here we go. And I had to refresh the Hyacinth because it was so light because after Ray's yarn. So I added some more Hyacinth to the dye bath and then did the speckles. You can very much see the black right there. So here we go. And I told her I might have over speckled it. She said that's okay. But I think it turned out really neat. See, there's that big dark spot. There we go. Like right in there. I think it might have, it almost looks like it, excuse me, got underneath the zip tie and just kind of held it there. So there's this one. And then there's this one. I hope she likes this. I am very new at dyeing, so, I mean, you can't expect perfection, right? But this is just for fun. All right. There we go. There's some dark in the middle there. There we go. I want to say this one, I had already added, ooh, really dark right there. I had already added the purple when she got back to me texting, because I think she was at work, and told me the black part, and I had already put on some purple, and so I put the black on the same side as the purple, and then I flipped it over and did the green. And I think I added a little bit of the black afterwards, but I think, but it wouldn't have been much, because I I really got it's okay. So the way Rebecca from Chemknits explains it is some dyes strike really fast, as in it absorbs the color like rapidly and you see it right away. Other dyes will take a little bit longer, and that's what happened with the black. So I was doing the black, but it wasn't showing up. Like purple takes like no time at all. It's like purple, bam. And the black took longer to absorb some moisture and show on the yarn. So that's why it got so heavy, because I couldn't tell how much black I had actually dropped. So the green was a little harder to see as well. Like it didn't take as fast as the purple. So I'm expecting like how fast the blue and the purple took before, and that's why I got lots and lots of green and lots of black. But I think it'll be cool, and I think these ladies will like it, so at least I hope so. And I did get in a bunch of colors. Look at that. I did order a bunch of colors from Joann's. They had a sale on, I think it's called Jacquard. And they're little, instead of the packets, like you've seen the Rit Dyes that are in a box and then it's just a packet inside that's loose. So once you open it, it's opened. I've been putting them in little sandwich bags with half the little box top on it so that I know what color it is. But, oh, I probably don't need to be wrapping that. But yeah, so when they had some Jacquard dyes put up in little bottles, I was like, that would be so much easier. And they were on sale. And then I did the trick that I learned from Cinnamon Stitches, that if you put something in your cart and then you wait a little while, Joann's will give you a 25% off your purchase and a shipping code for like $2.99. So I did that. So I got everything I was planning for, I think it ended up being like roughly 40% off or something. So it was a really good deal. And I'm very excited because I got a lot of colors to try. So when I come home from vacation, there's going to be more yarn dyeing. I'm excited. Oh, I forgot my last one. That's what fell off my lap. So in addition to the speckle yarns, I decided to dye more of the cotton, because I still have a few left, and I soaked it for several hours before I decided, or before I was going to dye it, so that it would absorb some water, and it took the color so much better after having it sat in water, and I sat it in salt water, because cotton, apparently something about the cotton and the salt makes the colors go better together. I don't know. But this is the tonals I was able to do. And what I did was I think it was after Heather's dye. I think I refreshed the dye bath by like a tablespoon. And when I was noticing it was looking still a little light, in my opinion, I did what I did with Ray's yarn, and I poured just spots of straight dye onto the yarn. And so I got some darker spots. And it gave it kind of almost a tie-dye effect. And right there is where my zip tie was. Apparently it did not want to penetrate the yarn under the zip tie. So I've got a nice little splotch of white, which I'm not sad about because it looks cool. But here we go. I think it turned out very nice. They are both the same. Little splotch of white. Oops, there's the splotch of white. That was just light colored dye. Like that must have been a spot that was deeper in or didn't get penetrated. You know, doing whatever it wanted to, because I soaked it, but it wasn't like completely like I didn't soak it overnight like I did with these. How they took it much more overall. I soaked these for a couple of hours, which is fine. It turned out very, very nice. And because if you remember, I told you it didn't feel very nice. After I was done rinsing and wringing it as much as I felt like it needed, I put this in a little like a little dish with water, and I put some fabric softener in it and let it sit there for like an hour. Or while I was cleaning up, I let it sit there the whole time, and then I rinsed it as the very last thing of the night. And I think it turned out much softer feeling. It was noticeably softer than it had felt when I originally first felt it. So like I think the fabric softener helped, so we'll just put it that way. And I am pretty excited about these. I love the color. It almost reminds me of ice cream yarn from Lion Brand. I think it's the color grape, but it's fingering weight, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, that is my dyeing adventure number 6, officially, for sure this time. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I am really having a good time making speckled yarn, and I don't even mind letting it have to sit in the steam basket for a while. Like pretty much what I do is I do one station of like the dye bath, then I rinse that a few times, do whatever I want to the water, to change colors or add more dye. And then when I'm done rinsing the first one, I'll put it to the side and speckle it, and then I'll put in the next dye, and then I'll let that sit for a while. And then while that one's taking color, I'll flip it over, sprinkle again, and then I'll take the one out, start washing it. And so it's kind of like a cycle. And then when that one's sat for, like 20 minutes on each side, then I'll put it in the in the steam basket for like 40 minutes. So while I'm doing that, 20 minutes on one side, 20 minutes on the other side, dye the other one. It just goes in a circle, and it actually worked out pretty well. And I think if I continue to do speckled yarns. I think I'm going to continue that because it seemed to work pretty well. So anyways, I hope you guys are having a wonderful summer. Summer is officially here. Ta-da! And I'd love to know what you guys are doing, what project you're working on. I still have things that I need to show you, but it's probably not going to happen until after my trip, or I might do a quick show and tell at one point, but I don't know. I get a little antsy before I travel, and I'm always like, I'm gonna forget everything. It's not like I can't buy whatever I need, you know, if I forget like a toothbrush or whatever, but I don't know. I get a little nervous when I travel. But anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night or whatever it is. I hope it's wonderful.